One of the main focuses of my channel are brands that offer a lot of value. That could mean luxury brands that are affordable or brands that offer a lot of value for the money. Today is a brand that I have always talked about here on my channel because their watches offer such good value for the money. If you put another name on the dial of the watch that we're looking at today, it would cost in the tens of thousands of dollars. However, it doesn't because it has the name Peacock on the dial. This is their latest tourbillon. It gets a handmade dial, 300 meters of water resistance, and it is completely constructed out of 904L stainless steel. It gets some incredible dial elements. It's ultra thin. And like I said, when it comes to price, there really isn't another brand that can compete with Peacock right now. So let's take a look at the Peacock Diving Tourbillon. This is yet another watch from Peacock that I was very excited for from the moment that I saw it because of the sheer specs alone. This is a diving tourbillon. It gets an ultra thin tourbillon movement with 68 hours of power reserve. And of course, on that tourbillon cage, it has a micro set natural diamond. It's something that you can't see unless you take out a loop. They do this with almost all of their tourbillons. It's very cool, at least Peacock do. Since this is a Peacock, that means that they don't just make any watch. They are making very elevated watches with the very best of Chinese watchmaking, so you're getting a hand engraved dial. This is something that they do with many of their watches these days. This one gets 190 separate waves hand engraved on the dial, and it is awesome. There is a high margin of error when they are making dials like this because, again, this is handmade. I'm going to do plenty of close-ups, so when you look at this, know that this is handmade. This is not done by a machine. This is done by one artist. Also, when we get up close to this dial, you're going to see some really cool elements. Number one, the indices are applied. Those are solid blocks of lume. The hands are completely transparent. Those are made out of sapphire. So those are single pieces of sapphire made into an hour and minutes hand, and they are lumed. So you have very good lume on this watch. You have a bezel on here that rotates. It's a 120 click bezel. And again, that is lumed, and you have a domed piece of sapphire on that bezel. You have a domed sapphire crystal on the watch with AR coating. Of course, since this is a Peacock, this is made in 904L stainless steel. So you get a 904L stainless steel case, crown, bezel, and bracelet. Of course, the case back also made in 904L stainless steel, but you get to see the movement from the back, and it is their ultra thin tourbillon movement, like I mentioned before, and you can see how beautifully it is finished. For a Chinese movement, these are at the top end of what you can buy right now. You can see there is snailing on that ratchet wheel there. There is beautiful Geneva striping. I have a watch on I specifically wore because I want to show you side by side this movement with a Swiss movement that is very similarly finished. However, I would say that this is finished a little bit nicer, and the brand that I have on is, well, at least the movement is from La Joux-Perret, which is a very high-end manufacturer, and I have to say, this looks better in my opinion. Measurements are great on this watch as well. This is a 40 millimeter dive watch spot on. You have a screwed in crown, screwed in case back, crown guards. It wears like a 40 millimeter dive watch in my opinion, under 12 millimeters thick. This is a 300 meter dive watch with the display case back, and this is 11.9 millimeters thick. That is excellent, and just over 46 millimeters lug to lug. I measured around 46.7 millimeters. However, the bracelet does mold to the case, so it does wear larger than that. However, this is a decision that they did design-wise. You do not have to wear it on this strap, and this watch could be worn on much smaller wrists. and also comes with a bracelet, and I believe the bracelet does get female end links, so you can wear this on a pretty small wrist. The bracelet on here is excellent. It's a really good looking bracelet, and again is made out of 904L stainless steel. Very quickly, on my wrist today I have a watch that has a very high-end movement. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren watch. It's called the 67. It's called the Vintage 67. That's not really the reason why I bought this watch, or it's one of the reasons why I bought this watch. I do like the look of it. However, the movement inside is a Le Joux Perret. And the Le Joux Perret that's in this watch, the movement that this watch is housing, is a very high-end movement that you would find in brands like Sartori Biard or JN Shapiro, which charge tens of thousands of dollars for their watches. The movement itself is very nicely finished. However, if I compare it directly to the watch that we're looking at today, I'm not sure how good it is. And of course, I'll do a side-by-side as close as I can so you could see. But there you go. This is the Le Joux Perret. This is the Peacock movement. And I have to say, they are at the very least on par. But I think a lot of people would say that the Peacock movement is better finished. It's a little bit cleaner, and of course, you are getting more finishing in general because the wheels are actually finished versus the, well, these are finished wheels, but they're not, triple snailed or whatever. There's no solarization on them. So pretty interesting. The wheel on here is solarized. This one is not. They both get Geneva striping, a little bit cleaner on the Peacock. And overall, I think a better looking case back. And there is the Peacock on my 7.5 inch wrist. And look how cool this watch is. Look how beautiful it is on my wrist. You have a really interesting shark inspired strap on here with a ridge that goes down the center of the strap. And then you have these sort of gill type features on the strap. It's a rubber strap and you get a 904L stainless steel buckle on here. Really beautiful. Again, this is a 40 millimeter dive watch. You have a helium escape right here as well. 40 millimeters at the case and at the bezel, and you have a 11.9 millimeter thickness and a 46.7 millimeter lug to lug. Let's quickly listen to the bezel action. Very grippy bezel on here. That is easily operated by my very dry hand. So sounds great, feels great, very nice pronounced clicks. Everything is really nicely made on this watch. Usually when it comes to Peacock watches and Peacock tourbillons, the only complaint that I have sometimes is the lume. But today, no complaints whatsoever from the lume on this watch. The only thing I could say is that there is no moving element on the dial that you could see that is lume. Maybe if they put a little bit of lume on the tourbillon cage so you could see that your watch is working in the dark, that would be my only complaint about this watch. There really is nothing else I can complain about, especially at this price. The amount of watch that you are getting here is incredible. If this had any other name on it, if this had a Swiss name on the dial, it would be easily in the tens of thousands of dollars. It doesn't. It has Peacock, so this is $3,499. This is an incredible watch for that money. A handmade dial, a beautiful ultra thin tourbillon movement, and then of course large blocks of lume on the dial, a lumed bezel, sapphire hands that are lumed, made out of 904L stainless steel with 300 meters of water resistance, and it comes with a really nice bracelet as well. Beautiful watch, and I think a fantastic price. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Overall, I really don't have many complaints about Peacock in general. They make fantastic watches for the money. And like I said, if this was a Swiss watch, and really if any of their watches had a Swiss name on them, they would cost in the tens of thousands of dollars, and they don't. And you can get these for very, very good prices. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. I want to hear from you guys. Are you as impressed with this watch and Peacock in general as I am? I would like to know down in the comment section. Please let me know. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very, very much appreciate it. I'll put a link to this watch down in the description below. Definitely check out their website. At least check out their website. Do yourself a favor. Look at what they are doing. Look at some of their other watches. You will not regret it. They are pretty amazing. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, and I will catch you guys in the next video.